often people use the term feedback sandwich. You probably have heard of it, wherein the negatively toned feedback is in the middle of two ends of positively toned feedback. Okay. And the reason why they like to propose this method is that because we know we've established that receiving feedback can be a terrifying thing. People are fearful of it, so they want to soften it up, soften up the other person. Let's start off with something positive, then we say the negative tone feedback, and then end it with another positive thing. Something like this. You really did a good job out there, but there's an issue that we need to talk about. But really, you're a valuable person. Okay. Well, you've seen this a lot in textbooks, in a lot of literature promoting or advocating the feedback sandwich. Unfortunately, um, we would like to position ourselves that this rarely works. Even from a personal standpoint, when I hear a feedback sandwich, I'm not exactly sure what the feedback was all about. Okay. And when it comes to communication, you are sort of confused as to what the message might be when you're given the feedback sandwich. Okay. The thing there is that when you use a feedback sandwich, it sort of activates your radar, right? Which makes you a little bit more defensive. Okay. Contrary to what the feedback sandwich is supposed to be doing, which is to bring down your defenses by saying something positive first and then coming in with a negative tone feedback. Okay. Because you might be sensitive to these types of approaches, when somebody tells you something positive, you're always on the lookout for that. Where's that but? Where's that negative feedback? When is it coming? Okay. Which raises your defensiveness. Now, we get it. The feedback sandwich is used because okay, people have been burned in the past, being given a lot of negative feedback, perhaps most of it not very effective feedback as what we know by now. And we feel concerned because the recipient of the feedback might feel totally rejected if you don't throw in a little bit of positive reinforcement. But as I've said just a while ago, it confuses the message. It misidentifies the problem. The difficulty is not that the feedback is harsh or negative, but that it's not behaviorally specific enough to be useful. It also contaminates the positive feedback because now, whenever somebody tells you a positive feedback, they probably don't mean it. There's always going to be a negative feedback lurking behind the scenes, which diminishes the positive feedback, which may have been true. Okay. So the feedback sandwich can be viewed as something manipulative, which maybe might have been filled with good intentions, but it's not used to provide a learning opportunity. Worse, it's being used to manipulate the other person.